What's up, it's Rashad, Antonio. This is like a dual podcast. This is going to be DCU and me, as well as the MCU
Mm,
collective, because we're talking about both franchises today. And this kind of was spurned from a conversation we started to have on our last
mhm.
video talking about the Daredevil trailer. And
Okay.
we started talking about how summertime is going to be packed, and DCU is going to be, starting the film side. They've already started with Creature Commandos, which you should go watch. And then
Mhm.
Fantastic Four drops on the 25th, Superman the 11th of July. And
And I think I saw something next week they starting to shoot for Lanterns,
yeah,
Green
yep.
Lantern
So
Corps. I think they're starting to shoot, next week. So,
that'll be
so
2026. So there's
hmm
so there's a conversation that we were having, like, is this enough space in between these two franchises? Is the momentum of Creature Commandos going to be enough for Superman to, what I'm saying, propel to heights of yore? And then
hmm
also, is the Fantastic Four going to be the new beginning that they want basically Phase Six to be? So there's a couple of questions that I had just as we were talking. I was like, man, we don't really got time to talk about this now. Let's stay focused. But today, because I posted this on Threads, and that thread actually it kind of blew up a little bit. It was like it's around like 5K, but it had a bunch of comments, and some of the
hmm
comments were very interesting, and some of them really were steeped in fantasy. And I'm talking about fantasy because this is superhero stuff. I'm talking about fantasy as in regards to not being factual. So I like so here's the thing, okay? And this is funny too because I
Okay.
didn't really realize this. Is just might said something. Smana was like, Superman has never been a blockbuster film, and I was like, huh. He said, even go back to Superman 1. He said, that really didn't do crazy at the box office. He said, like, it was like, people loved it. It's deemed as, one of the best superhero films of all time. But financially, it really didn't do crazy numbers. And then he was like, look at Superman with Brandon Roth. That didn't do great. And then also look at Superman Man of Steel. That didn't do awesome either. And I was like, wow, this is very interesting conversation we're having. And somebody was like, oh yeah, and this is what kind of spurred the whole conversation on Threads. Somebody was like, look, Superman is Superman. Just because Superman is gonna do well because it's Superman. It's gonna do way better than Fantastic Four. And I'm like,
Mhm.
hmm, what's that? Go ahead, because you seem like you
Yeah.
want.
So, you saying that, I went that quickly, thank God for the internet, and looked up something.
Yeah,
So, Superman the movie, starring our beloved Christopher Reeves, for most of us, he is
he's
Superman.
Superman, definitely.
Came out in the year of our Lord, 1978. They had a budget of 55 million. Okay. At the box office, 300.5 million. What the hell is he talking about?
I mean, for the time, we adjusted for inflation.
Right, we're adjusting for the time.
That's yeah, yeah.
1978.
So let's say right now that 50 million budget is like maybe like 250 million. Like,
Uh-huh.
because money doesn't make sense anymore. Nothing makes sense
N- n-
anymore.
no.
Man,
I,
and three said 300.5. So
yes.
yeah, that's about like
It made its money back
it's been making in some.
and more.
Yeah.
And then some. And then, and we're just talking box office. We're not even going to count merchandising, but just box office. They made their money, you know what I'm saying? They made so yeah, I really don't know what the hell he's talking about as far as that. My questions for that, person who said that was how old were they?
It
And
felt I felt like they
did
were
they
old. You know what I'm saying? It felt like a very
uh,
old man take. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Very Gen X take.
All right, and for like I'm a rabbit hole person. I'm gonna go Superman 2. You know, one of my I like Superman 2, Kneel before Zod.
Neil Cazad. You know what I'm saying?
Kneel the Zod. Budget, a million short of Superman was 54 million. Box office, 216.3 million. Once again, that came out in 1981. Think it, think it did okay. Did his money back or whatever. So I'm not understanding what they're trying to say or what they're trying to come off as. Um, as you said, somebody said, Superman is Superman.
But I do want to give you just a tad bit pushback, big man. When
Uh-huh.
it comes to
Push
like more recent history, right?
Uh-huh.
As you said, in the year of our Lord 2013, I looked back at the movies that came out. So Man of Steel came out that year, right? Man of Steel came
220.
out
Okay.
2013.
Okay.
And guess what the MCU movie that came out that year was?
2013.
Now, I
2013.
tell you, it
Is it
was
Thor?
Thor, The Dark World.
Horrible. One of the worst
Yeah,
Marvel
yeah,
movies.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me pull up the numbers for that
Okay.
because you're gonna
Oh
be
boy.
shocked at just at these two franchises going back and forth. So
Mm-hmm.
Thor: The Dark World had a budget of, hold on here, let me give me a second, I'm trying to find it. It's crazy because it kind of shocked me too when I looked at it. I was like, let me just, as you said, let me do some research before I start running my mouth here. And I was very confused just as to how well Thor: The Dark World did when it came to them actually doing it. Give me a second here because I can't find it. I'll just look it up. But nah,
I
yeah, it
just
was.
found it I just
Yeah,
found it if
yeah,
you want it.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so Thor the Dark World. You can look up
Yeah, I
Man
am.
of
I
Steel.
got you. Come on now, we on the same wavelength.
Yeah. So Thor Dark World. Budget, according to PD of the Wiki, 150 to 272.1 million. That's the budget.
Hmm.
Box office, 644.8 million.
All right. So the Man of Steel had a budget between 225 and 258.
Mm-hmm.
They made 670. So, because people were talking about, oh, name recognition. I said, yo, like I get what you're saying on name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
But the evidence right here tells me that name recognition really didn't like doesn't hold as much weight when it comes to this because we talking about let me finish my thought
Yeah,
because
go
I'm,
ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna give another example too because then he was talking
Okay.
about the real second Superman movie was Batman versus Superman. I was like, come on, yo, you proving my point. I said Batman versus
Yeah.
Superman came out in 2016. You know what else came out in 2016, right? If you want to have a true analog for this. The true analog is going to
Um,
be Civil War. Civil War easily made over $1 billion on a budget like
yeah,
250. So I'm like,
yeah.
sir, like you're not really you digging you proving my point to me.
Okay.
So my point was is the public, the average moviegoer, are they going to get behind these two flicks? Because even though both of these are going to be PG-13, these are still more targeted towards like a family that has like, let's say, like my youngest age, she's like 10. So from that
Okay.
10 on up, you know what I'm saying? They can
Mm-hmm.
understand what's going on. May not get a huge understanding of like the subtext, and some of the themes and stuff, but like the overall message of the movie, what the movie's about, they're gonna understand because they're not stupid. They fifth,
Mm-hmm.
sixth grade. So are these parents gonna have to choose between taking them to see iconic Superman, you feel what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, or seeing Fantastic Four? Because it's the
Okay.
summertime. I know it's like, yo, but like you got to remember, a family of four going to the movies plus snacks is easily
Damn
over a
near
hundred
100.
dollars.
Yeah, damn near 130, 120 or
How do,
so.
and how do I know? Because I have a family of
His
five.
family of
So when we
5.
all
Yeah.
go and these children and spouse want to eat snacks and crap this is it's an expenditure. So they're asking us to essentially pick. Somebody was like, the real OGs gonna go to both. Yes, yes, we are because
Yes.
we're on threads
Right.
talking
But they're
about
they're
this.
also they're trying to target the layman, not, you know what I'm saying, the
Yeah,
non-comic fan or whatever. All right. What I was gonna say is, as far as with that, I'm gonna come back to that. But
are
what you
you
were
good?
saying as far as with the Thor Dark World, God, that was a horrible movie. versus versus Man of Steel. I guess my slight pushback would be, as bad as Thor Dark World was, that's when Marvel was still in their bag. They was hot as fish grease.
True,
Hot
true.
as fish grease. And and if I'm not mistaken, that Superman of Steel was the first foray
It was.
for this DCU, you know what I'm saying, that they were trying to this DCU they were trying to create. But you look at it, I can see, I just guess my only pushback for that, because that by Thor Dark World, we realize, oh, Marvel is building up to something. The Avengers. We already figured that out at that point, or whatever. And with the DCU, you know, for people that do love Superman, it's always, I'm gonna say, in recent history, Superman has been looked at as a cornball superhero.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the goody goody, the goody goody guy,
The
you know,
Boy Scout.
the Boy Scout. I hate to compare Superman to this trash human being, but like Hulk Hogan in the 80s, say your prayers, eat your vitamins. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Stuff like that. That's what Superman, was. And during that time period, the 80s and 70s, yeah, that's still good. We live now in a more we at the by the time to what 2013, that's when that came out. You said we are in a more edgier, you know what I'm saying, in a more edgier and more cynical, you know what I'm saying, world right
World,
now. So,
yeah.
a lot of people were kind of like, kind of off that, normal people wise, people that read the comics and understood that Superman has changed. Because at that point, they even was like, they even changed it from, remember the whole, I mean, I stand for truth, justice, and the American way. They took the American way part out of it. Just like, I stand for truth, and, what I'm saying, I stand for truth, justice, and humanity way. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So that's my only pushback for that. But as far as, let's just get to the meat and potatoes of this. As far as, like you said, Rashad, with this, I think this right here is going to be a battle of two things.
What's that?
Number one, this is going to be a battle of, can Marvel get their groove back? Can
Yeah.
Marvel get their groove back in the theaters? Because of course we're gonna watch it because we're fans, comic book fans and stuff like that, and we're going off the strength of the MCU and Kevin Feige, what they be able to do, of taking the first family of Marvel and actually doing them proper in a film. So that's what we're rocking with that. But there is a Marvel fatigue amongst people. Even some people that are fans of Marvel, there is a Marvel fatigue. And I've even talked to some people at my job that was like, I don't even know if I want to watch this I don't even know if I want to watch Fantastic Four. I mean, I've seen these other attempts at it and it's been horrible. And we'll see. And then too, what Marvel has done as well, I think that's a hindrance, is that Marvel, what made them so good in the first, what stage we in now? Five, six?
Yeah.
What made them so good in the first probably three, four stages was that all the movies were connecting and leading to something.
Very true.
Since Endgame, we don't know what they're leading to, due to several, due to several things, writer strikes, actors being sued and having to change who the big bad is and stuff. And speaking of that, I don't know how true this is. Maybe I'm a guess. Maybe that was a I don't know how true this is, Rashad. But have you seen it where they said that they actually are going to find a way to put Jonathan Majors in Doom or something to show him getting
I
killed? Dog.
don't, I don't,
That,
I
did you
don't.
see that, or is that
I feel like I did see that somewhere. Like that's a rumor that I wouldn't. I'm not giving a whole lot of credence to that. You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you got that. The other, so you got a battle right now for the like I said, the whether or not the resurrection of Marvel, what I'm saying, not necessarily resurrection, but what will Marvel do? Can they bring back their core fans and get other people more interested back in the MCU? Superman, on the other hand, you have a couple of factors with that. You
Yeah.
have, possibly the most popular comic character or pretty much character of all time, you know what I'm saying, coming back with another movie. And do people want to see it? Has it been long enough? That's the thing. There are some people who don't want to see any of this DCU stuff right now under James Gunn because some people feel a certain type of way about James Gunn.
Yeah, which is
So,
yeah.
which, I have a coworker. She says, I do not support James Gunn. I hope everything he does burns. Like she's like, I was telling her about Creature Commando. She was like, yeah. I said, dude, you are someone who likes film. I said, you would enjoy. She was like, I, I just can't do. She said she just can't do it or whatever. She
Is
says,
anybody explaining why?
she says from her understanding, James Gunn is a horrible person, and it's just too many stories coming off of sets, what I'm saying, stuff that he's been on that has turned her off. That's her thing, what I'm saying, or whatever. And some other people are saying kind of the same thing. But both of these franchises have obstacles they're going to have to, like you said, obstacles they're going to have to overcome to see what's going to happen. They're going to make their money in these things,
Yeah.
especially. And like you said, like I said, Superman is Superman, and the other guy said the same thing. Superman is Superman. Superman is going to make his money, but the thing is it going to be a box office success? But what James Gunn has done with the trailer that we've seen so far is to let you know, hey, this is a Superman movie, but I'm introducing you to other folk at the same time. And maybe when you come see this movie, maybe Superman ain't your thing. Guy Gardner might be your thing. Mr. Terrific might be your thing. They're hoping, I think what they're doing, they already have a set of movies and stuff coming out. They already know what they're going to do. They're hoping that one of these characters becomes a fan favorite where a spin-off of some sort is going to come for one of those lesser known characters. Because let's be realistic, when Iron Man 1 came out, Iron Man he isn't one of the top dog Marvel characters at that time. He is now,
No, he was he was
but
he
at
was
that time,
most days C on a good day B-list character.
yeah, he was. Like, even for me, I knew about the Avengers. I knew some of the Avengers stories, but for me, I always felt the Avengers were secondary to X-Men. That, what I'm saying? That was me, because that's what I
Yeah.
always, felt and everything. But they were able to make you care about Iron Man and care so much and say people, hey man, why y'all kill off Tony Starks and everything? What I'm saying? T Sizzle coming back, you know what I'm saying, to play a variant of Doom, So this like I said, this is like I said in the thing, competition breeds success, and it's good as long as
Question.
both are good.
Yeah, both
Sir,
is
go
good
ahead.
movies. Yeah, yeah. Question.
Hmm. Hmm.
As, as you were talking about just the sheer amount of characters and like the hopes for a potential like spin-off, or
Hmm.
let's just see who the crowd responds to, the fans respond to in that
Hmm.
movie. Do you think that they could be falling into a little bit of a Age of Ultron type trap?
They could be.
Because you know, like,
They could
okay,
be.
disclaimer.
Go
I love
ahead.
Age of Ultron. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I don't
You
know
do.
why, yo. I rewatched that movie so many times. It has some very, very redeemable parts. Some parts don't make a lot are nonsensical, but I love the second Avengers movie just about as much as I love Iron Man 2. But anyway, another story, another day. So I really feel like if the story isn't tightly on Superman and everybody else is really just, playing second fiddle or in the periphery for real. I mean, because we saw the trailer, Tony. It's hella characters in the movie. I mean, it's like maybe 10, 12 extra characters in a movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about like ancillary characters, the people in the Daily Planet and all them people. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about just like
Yeah.
superheroes in the world already
Wait, who's that?
there.
Hawk. Let's see. Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, um, the clone, not the clone dude, but like the changeling dude. I can't think of his
Yeah.
name. Right now.
You got the robot dude. At the end of the trailer, he's like picking up somebody. It's like a robot.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
the
yeah,
dude's
yeah,
name.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. You got that character.
we may
It's
get Supergirl in this movie. You know
right.
what I'm
You may
saying?
get
Like
Supergirl.
it's a
Yeah.
bunch of characters that I know that haven't named, and also like
Hmm.
it's you got Lex is gonna be like the main
Hmm.
villain, maybe.
Hmm.
We
Right.
may end up getting like Brainiac in this too. Like you don't know,
Yeah. I was about to say
it's
that.
packed. So
You might
there
you might get you might get a Batman. You might get the new
don't
Batman.
we that's what I'm saying, man, because like
Uh-huh.
everybody's accent already, you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm. Hmm.
there could just be a sheer amount of heft to the
A
to the
plethora.
superheroes. So a smorgasbord of heroes in this. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like I don't like I hope that doesn't happen. I think that Gunn is a little bit sharp when it comes to writing, and then also he's not going to
Hmm.
be under those same restraints that uh, what's that guy's name? Who's a creep now? Who wrote Avengers 1 and 2?
Snyder.
Nah,
Avengers. Oh,
um
I know who you're talking
I
about.
have his
Joss Whedon.
yeah, I can see his huge big head. No, I'm saying, but I can't figure out his name is. Yeah, Josh Whedon. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we can easily see him. You know what I'm saying? He was under some restraints with that second one because they wanted Feige wanted him to add a lot of stuff so we can continue on. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. I hope that, like I said, that it's really a tight Superman movie with just them being very
Yeah.
ancillary.
You know what else I think may be a problem too with Fantastic Four
What's that?
is I think people are going to wonder where the hell is this fitting in at? Because
Mm-hmm.
it looks like it's a futuristic scene, but it also looks like it's 1960s.
So like for me, because I'm thinking that this is gonna be just a different universe.
Right. I think it's a different universe as well. And somehow they're going to join or
Yeah,
merge with all you
yeah,
because remember the joke that Doctor Strange said to that variant of Reed Richards that was presented. He was like Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. He was like, didn't you guys chart in the 60s? And I was like, you know, because you don't I think I'm gonna tell you what I think Marvel really did. I think Marvel was trying to go 10 toes deep into this multiversal thing and then realize halfway in like halfway into it like I think we might have took this. I think we might have took too much on for this because people are starting to get like, what the hell are we doing? And then you got shows that aren't even connecting to because even some of the shows was starting to connect, but they're not even connecting no more.
nah, not really.
Connecting no more to it. And then when you got Multiverse of Madness, you thought you was going to see more stuff happen and you didn't. And then too, you know, God bless his soul. I think one of the biggest mistakes they did was not necessarily recast T'Challa in Black Panther. That's just my opinion. I think that was a mistake. Not I understand why, but I think it's a mistake. They didn't do it. But now you're hearing word that they are going to recast T'Challa as Aldous Hodge as a from another multiverse. And I'm like, you see what I'm saying? So I think this is where
Yeah,
they're
because
messing.
obviously we
Yeah.
already know how the Secret War story goes. Everybody,
Hmm.
well, the regular timeline and the Ultimates timeline essentially merge
Yeah.
into into the regular
Yeah.
616. So they're
Yeah, because
reshuffling.
I remember when the Ultimate stuff came out and everything, I was so confused. I was like, why are there fucking like two Spider-Mans and two got and then they was like, oh well, this is the 616, but then there's the Ultimate verse. And I was like, I gotta go back and I started doing some stuff and I was like, oh, this is what happened. So basically you got timelines merged together where there are effing two versions of the same character there, you know what I'm saying? But you
Yeah,
know.
and even like aesthetically, a lot of the cues they took early on were from like the Ultimates comics for the MCU.
Hmm.
So so eventually that's why we got I think it's Christopher McFeely and the Russo Bros is coming back to
Mm.
to write and direct. So I feel like they're gonna sort a lot of that out because if you seen like Mr. Feige past couple of weeks and months, he's talking. Okay, imagine like I'm having a conversation with you about something that's gonna happen 2 years from now, 3 years from now, right?
Okay. Okay.
But I'm talking to you like it's past tense because I'm so excited about what's coming after that.
Okay. Okay.
He's like, yeah, because like every time because if somebody mentions the X-Men, there's a different level of excitement from him when he talks
Hmm.
about it because we already know he was a PA
On
on the first X-Men
the original X-Men
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So he's been there from the jump. And
Hmm.
I guess I'm not really sure like where Feige how he grew up or whatever, but when it comes to just film industry, like he really got out of the mud. He was at the bottom. And then he
Hmm.
really made his way through to be ahead of the most successful franchise ever. So the only thing I've seen that he's been super excited for has been Fantastic Four,
Yes.
and then after the multiverse has wrapped up this phase, because he be super excited about X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you want to talk about it, he'll try to he tries to curtail his excitement, but you
Hmm.
can tell when somebody is hype about an idea that they have, and they really can't tell
Hmm.
you because it's way too early. And then
I have one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you good.
So I have one question for you. This is just future thinking or whatever. And they finished the multiverse. And let's just say, hypothetically speaking, the next phase is going to lead up to Avengers versus X-Men. Because that's what I think it looks like it's going to lead up to. And possibly, I think, Rashad, what we would like to see as well. When do Feige and Disney and Marvel, all of them say, all right, we're going to take a break from this and then we're going to reboot this whole bitch?
That's an interesting question. I don't see that happening because to
And
me,
uh-huh.
now go ahead.
And the only reason I say that is because at some point they're going to run out of doing movies for the heavy hitters
And
and
that's a
doing some.
and I feel and you are right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'm thinking about is the reboot for them is going to be the X-Men. The X-Men is going to be their
Okay.
reboot.
Okay.
Also, and okay, like time doesn't make sense. So this came out in 2008, right?
Mm.
And 3 years. This is going to be going on for 20 years. Technically,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like a reboot of this whole thing could and would be warranted, just
Hmm.
because the longevity of it, and just the unprecedented nature of having this serialized movie franchise like this.
Hmm.
Because I'm looking at it just from the standpoint of, like, let's say like my daughter is 10. The MCU's been around before she was born, and when she gets of age to actually like understand it, it's not until like last year, this year. So they could easily reboot it for this next like Gen Alpha kids, and then boom, tell these stories over. And then if they want to, they can still go back and watch these old films, and it still be a part of the same universe. So I think that's, to me, is like, that's kind of like that's gonna be an inflection point that they're eventually going to get to. And I'm not even sure if Kevin Feige is going to be there to make that call. I don't think he
Yeah.
ever makes that call. I think it's when he either
Yeah.
retires, or when Disney gets tired of him, or when he gets tired of it, or whatever. But whoever's
Hmm.
next at the helm, I'm thinking it's going to be the and another DC property that we love so much, the clean slate protocol. Because I don't think that they will want to even have anything to do with this mess, which I think would be a slight mistake. But I
Hmm.
feel like, new coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. We got new plays, new
New quarterback.
GM. Hey, hey, hey.
Hmm.
New ownership. Who does sound like, Sony?
Hmm.
All new everything. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yo. So like that's kind of the feel, your Hail Commanders. That's kind of the feel of this whole thing, because
Hmm.
you're gonna, okay, you're going to want your Jaden Daniels. You're gonna want that person who's gonna be the linchpin of the organization, of the franchise, and you're gonna
Hmm.
want to insert your own people into this thing so you can have the vision to be how you want it to be. And I think, okay, and like you said earlier too, we can't see what we're leading to, and that was the issue. It was the lack of vision in regards to leading the consumers, or the people, or the fans, say, hey, this is the road we're taking. Because if I
Hmm.
say multiverse, it's a kind of a nebulous term. Like, it can mean anything to
Hmm.
anybody. The
Yep.
Infinity Saga, we know, like, yo, it's very clear that Thanos is getting some stones, put some stones on a gauntlet, and he's snapping his fingers like it's 2004 and he's from Atlanta. So we understand that, yes, lean with it, rock with it, knock if you buck. So I like, this is where, like, that's a really good question. So
Yeah.
next person,
Because I
I
think
this
that's the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
now this
Yeah.
that's kind of how
I,
I
I just.
believe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think because I think that is like the dilemma Marvel is having, and the Gunverse DCU is not going to have that for a while because this is a complete reboot
They just starting,
for
baby.
them, and they're starting. They just, what I'm saying. They just starting. I will say, they're just starting, and Marvel is like, all right, what we gonna do here?
Not
Are
only
we?
that,
You
but
know
they're
what I'm
just
saying?
starting, and they're still doing elsewhere stuff. So we can still have different flavors of the same thing,
Right,
which is,
because there are a lot of stories, especially on the X-Men side, that can be told. They can do House of M. What I'm saying, they're kind of blurring that now, but do a real House of M. They can, for the love of God, please do a proper Phoenix, a to Dark Phoenix saga,
oh my
a
God.
proper one, because to this day, the only proper version of that we've seen is on the animated series.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
get a finally get a proper version of that. I mean, it's so much, so like I said, that could lead up to X-Men versus the Avengers and stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot of stuff they can do. Wow, like I said, DC, is starting afresh. You know what I'm saying? They like to say, because I guarantee you, James Gunn is going to do a proper live action version of a Death of Superman. And I want to see all three of those all three of those books turned into a movie. And you know what those books are, Rashad. The Death of Superman, A World Without Superman, and then The Reign of Superman. When we see that or whatever. I want to see that, period. And
And
and then finally, the thing I want to see from DC, and I know we're not.
it's
I'm
okay.
just talking right now.
We're having a conversation.
What I want to see, possibly one of my favorite DC stories arcs that came out, Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come is one of the most fantastic stories ever done in graphic novels, and they haven't even done a cartoon version of it. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Like, why? Like, why not? I want to see the Kingdom Come. And I think James Gunn he's such a fan of DC, Superman and stuff. And he's also a fan of obscure stuff as well, where I think that could, I think that could happen. But, back to the topic at hand, Superman versus the Fantastic Four. Like I said, this is a battle of the soul of Marvel versus the coming of DC.
Yeah, it's I'm really intrigued by the notion. Okay, we're gonna have to revisit this conversation
Okay,
in a couple
definitely.
weeks when the trailer comes out, because that's gonna give
Oh
us
yeah,
a much better idea of what this Fantastic Four thing is gonna be. The point I want to get across is that there's a lot of heavy lifting both of these franchises have to do for letting people know, like, hey, we here, like, we for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, these is the vibes. Like, y'all really want it. Y'all want Superman with heart. Y'all want Superman. Y'all want a Clark Kent that look goofy as hell. Y'all want a strong Superman. That, you know what I'm saying? That's really there for the people. That wouldn't break somebody's neck. Like, that's the Superman y'all want. I mean, I didn't care because he deserved it. But either way, but this is the Superman y'all want. And also, y'all want y'all really don't even want the Fantastic Four. Like, y'all just want a good Marvel movie. I'm gonna be very honest.
Yes.
Y'all don't
Yes.
really and that's why, to me, Brave New World and Thunderbolts have to be good, because to ask these people to come back at the end of July to see another MCU flick is gonna be, again, like I said at the beginning of this, picking between the unknown entity of Superman or picking between the third MCU movie of the year. And it's not even like it's in November. This hoe is in July. So, so we got February 14th, May, that first Friday in May, and then you got
That's for the
July.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Thunderbolts. Then you got like May 2nd, I think. And then you got July 25th. So
And on
these are,
top of that, you got what in March? You got Daredevil.
yeah, but that's a whole different vibe. But then you got to remember
Yeah.
all the stuff that's surrounding it too. We got actual summer blockbuster season, because we got another Jurassic Park flick coming out at the beginning of the month, and whatever else is coming out. So they're like real films that people had. There's a because there was such a dearth of movies last year, and just content in general because of the strikes. We have, again, a full buffet of entertainment this year. So you got to pick, man. Like, are you gonna come back for thirds and fourths, or are you gonna just really figure out what you want that first go around and say, you know what, I've had enough. So that's really where we are with this. You know what I'm saying? That's all I really got. You got anything else?
No, man, that's all I really got. I think, like I said, this is going to be something that we're going to probably revisit after. I think we're going to probably revisit this a few times. I think we should revisit this after Captain America, and then kind of do a revisit of this after Thunderbolts, right before this come out,
Yeah,
to see
yeah, yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying, how are we feeling going into this, into that,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, that fateful July, this fateful July coming up.
Yeah, man. Probably talk about it after the drops on the Super Bowl too, because I just know it's gonna drop on
Hmm.
the Super Bowl. There's no others.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
should they shouldn't even waste that money, but like they're gonna
Hmm.
drop. They're gonna do a 30
Yeah.
second and say you how to go online and watch the rest. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's all we got for this one, man.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed yet, go and subscribe. YouTube numbers, I'll see y'all. Quick little surge
Hmm.
there. On
Hmm.
threads, definitely keep on joining threads. It's a decent
Yes,
community.
yes.
Don't really, I don't know about Zuckerberg 2.0, but it is what it is. Blue Sky, we there trying to figure out Blue Sky. Of course, announcement coming up pretty soon. Website, still figuring out the kinks. And we'll have the information to you hopefully by the end of this month, beginning of February. And
What's the next thing we're gonna do, Rashad? I can't remember.
oh, next Wednesday, sir. MCU
Uh-huh.
Collective will be back talking about Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
The-
Yeah, that starts the
oh,
29th. Yes,
that.
the animated series starts next
Oh,
Wednesday.
okay.
Yeah, so we'll be
And we
back.
and I'm just saying this, if it don't happen, charge it to me. But me and Rashad did have a conversation about doing a fun episode about trauma, Rashad.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
A fun episode.
We're gonna have an episode about because we are children of the '80s and off the heels of Skeleton Crew and talking about why it wasn't 100% '80s for us because ain't nobody
Uh-huh.
die. So yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna talk about like just our top five childhood trauma movies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, so
Or
so
as I
yeah.
just say,
That
character building movies.
the character via the movie. Movies that don't give a damn about your feelings. That's what it is. They give a damn about our
Yeah,
80s,
not
our
at
80s kids'
all.
feelings, man.
Not at all. Yeah,
Oh man.
we gonna get into that in the near future. But other than that, man, we
Hmm.
appreciate you guys again.
Yes,
MC
yes, yes.
Collective, DCU and me.
Hmm.
Also the upon further
Calrissian
review,
kid.
Calrissian Kids
Uh,
when anything Star Wars comes out. Hopefully we get some
uh-huh.
information on that soon. We do have
Uh-huh.
the Star Wars celebrations in Tokyo this year. I wish I could have
Uh-huh.
went. Um,
Don't forget the Westerbros, because I think maybe Super Bowl weekend
oh,
we're gonna get
we
a
definitely
Knights
can
a
wait.
night. I think we're gonna get a trailer for Knights of the Seven Kingdoms.
Gotta get a trailer.
And yeah, so
We're gonna have a after the Super Bowl. I predict we're gonna have a full week of content for you guys. Like
yeah.
easy,
Yeah.
easy six,
Yeah.
7 days worth of content over trailers
Yeah.
alone. Yeah, man. But we
Yeah.
appreciate y'all. We'll see you guys on the next one.